Tonight, Rockline welcomes Geddy Lee of Rush. You know, audience response and radio research have recently come to the same conclusion. Rush is far and away the most popular band in album rock. Tonight, it's our pleasure to give you a chance to talk with Geddy Lee about the current album, the tour, and whatever else is on your mind. It's always a pleasure for Rockline to welcome Mr. Geddy Lee. How are you tonight?
I'm just fine.
It's good to see you.
Nice to be here.
It's great to come up to Toronto and finally track you down.
Nice to see you face to face.
Really, we have done this thing all over the place, almost worldwide. And in fact, in the past 6 months, I've seen you in 3 countries.
That's right.
I mean, we've seen each other all over the place.
I was surprised to see you in London.
Yeah, that was something. I mean, walked backstage and I saw you look up and kind of go, my gosh, what's he doing here, you know? Great show at Wembley Arena over there in London.
Thank you very much.
And the first time you've been back to Europe in a while now,
Yeah,
huh?
in about almost 5 years, I think.
In 5 years. And first time for Berlin and Paris, is that correct?
Yeah, first time for those 2 cities.
Now, weren't you scheduled to play Paris at one point?
Yeah, we've had very bad luck with Paris. We were supposed to play, I don't know, must have been 8-9 years ago. And there was a fire in the venue, like a week before we got there, something like that. So that canceled it. And we never really made it back there since.
Well, we have, as I said, had Neil on. We've had you on solo. We've had you on with Alex. We got to get the 3 of you together sometime before I die. Get the 3 of you together
in L.A.
In L.A. in the Hollywood Rockline studio. That's a life goal for me right now. Let's talk about something a little more serious right now, and that is something that you guys are doing on tour right now. It's called the Food Rush Drive, and you're asking people to bring food to the concerts and whatnot. How did this come about, and what happens exactly when they bring the food?
Well, it started originally as something we wanted to do in Toronto here. We did it when we played here in December. Usually when we play Toronto, we donate some of the proceeds, if not all the proceeds, to various charities. And, times being what they are, we just thought, well, maybe we should try to, get people to bring some food. It's an easy thing to do, and we don't see it that often in rock and roll concerts. You see it in sporting events. Baseball teams have food drives, so why shouldn't rock bands have food drives?
Yeah.
So it worked out so well. We raised so much food. It was just really a huge success. I think they had like 3 semi-truckloads of food that kids brought out, and it was just so great to see how everybody responded to it.
Yeah.
That
I heard it was more than you expected, actually.
Yeah, it was much more than we expected, and it was just a great turnout, and really an enthusiastic turnout. Everybody got really behind it, so we thought, well, maybe this is something we should try in more places than just our hometown could use something like this. So basically, you bring a food as much as you can, and every person who brings whatever quantity of food basically gets an opportunity to have their name or drawn out of a hat or whatever it is.
So they get a number or something.
They get
and
a
the
number
gets chosen.
The number gets chosen, and they get an opportunity to sit in front row seats.
Oh, really?
So they save a certain number of front row seats for, and it doesn't matter how much you bring. As long as you bring something, you get an opportunity for that draw.
Well, I think we found out in recent weeks that it is a have and have not world, and the disparity between those two needs to change.
Absolutely, and you don't have to bring much. Anybody can help in any little way, and I think it's an important thing to realize that some people don't help because they feel like they can't do very much. But you don't have to do very much. You just have to do a little, and if everybody does a little, that's a lot.
Now, the third leg of the tour begins soon, just a couple of days from now, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it begins Thursday night in Memphis.
In Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Great place to play. Alex Lifeson had intended to join us tonight. He is taken ill, and obviously the priority is to regain his health for the tour.
That's right. He was really sorry that he couldn't make it here tonight, but I talked to him today, and he was in a little bit of rough shape, so we felt it was best for him to just try to get better before the show.
Knowing Alex and what a trooper he is, I know he would be here unless he was really under the weather. So, Alex, if you're out there and listening to Q107, we're in their studios tonight here in Toronto. Hope you get well and have a good show down in Memphis. One of the songs that I think is going over really well live right now off this tour is one of the songs off Roll the Bones. And we're going to start with that tonight with Mr. Geddy Lee of Rush. It's called Bravado on Rockline and the Global Satellite Network. Rush from Roll the Bones, Bravado, the name of that track. I'm Bob Coburn. It's Rockline live from the studios of Q107 in Toronto tonight. Our guest is Geddy Lee, and you can give him a call on the Rockline. And welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. We're with Geddy Lee from Rush for the entire 90 minutes tonight. Tom is on the line in Chicago listening to The Loop FM 98. And Tom, you're on with Geddy Lee.
Good evening, Mr. Lee. a great honor to be talking with you tonight.
Nice to talk to you.
First, like to say I've been a fan ever since Farewell to Kings, and I appreciate all you've accomplished as musicians and as people as well.
Thank you very much.
And I'd be glad to help out with the food drive. I'll see you guys on the last 4 dates of the tour.
Great. I hope to see you in the front row then.
6th row in Noblesville. So.
Well, you could end up in the front row if you bring some food.
Well, that would be great. I have 2 questions for you tonight. First, how was the fan response in Europe this time around, since you haven't been there since Hold Your Fire? And how did you feel about playing there? The second question is, I'd heard some rumors that a new album was ready to go or start being worked on in November, and to see what kind of plans you had with that.
Okay, first question, how did Europe go? Europe went very well, and the crowd response was very gratifying, especially for some of the German dates where we seem to be attracting a lot of Eastern European fans that I guess have wanted to see us for quite some time. I saw a lot of signs from East Germany and people from Czechoslovakia and Prague holding up signs, and it was really nice to see them there, and they looked like they were really enjoying themselves, which made me very happy. And I was talking to some afterwards, after a couple of the shows, and I guess it was real tough because there was fans that we had behind the Iron Curtain that never thought they'd get an opportunity to see the band play, and they seemed real happy that they could finally do that. And that kind of made a lot of those dates worthwhile for us to be able to play for them. And
me having seen the Wembley show in London, there were also flags from all over the continent.
Yeah,
there. I saw a Swedish
it was like
flag
the World Cup
line.
soccer there. You
It
could
really
see a flag
was.
from Norway and Spain, and that's a nice thing for us. And it was a nice change of pace to go over there, because we don't get over there very often, and to know that these people are coming from hundreds and thousands of miles,
literally,
just literally to see the band. So
Boy,
you really want to put on a good show for
and
them.
they got into you too. Even the people in the back row. I mean, they stood and cheered the whole show. Now, what about a new album?
Well, nothing planned yet, other than as you mentioned, we're going to start writing, I think, in late fall, around November, December, and hopefully we'll have a new album out next year.
Tom, thanks for being on. We're going to move on and speak with Mark in Kokomo, Indiana, a listener of Q95 in Indianapolis. And Mark, you're on the Rockline.
How you doing, Ged?
Pretty good. How you doing, Mark?
Pretty good. First of all, Ged, on behalf of my brothers Chris and Scott O'Brien and myself, we think you guys are the best band in the galaxy.
Well, thank you very much. Thank the family for me.
And we'll definitely see you guys in Deer Creek in Noblesville on the 26th.
Okay.
And I have 2 questions for you, Ged. First one is, how much of Neil's song lyrics are changed, if any, to accompany your guys' musical piece, or just to satisfy Alex and yourself? And the second one is, how did you guys come up with the nicknames Dirk, Lurks, and Pratt?
Well, okay, first one first. In terms of lyrics, there are some songs that Neil gives us, and you have to realize that when Neil writes, he writes a lot of stuff. So sometimes we'll get 5 songs at a time, or 3 songs at a time, or 2 songs at a time. And usually there are certain songs that we gravitate towards right away, and other ones that kind of sit around for a while we're writing, and you have to think about them a bit more. And sometimes there are little changes that we make, and some songs, if Alex and I are not quite clear on kind of the direction of the song, or don't feel 100% about a song, we talk about it a lot. And there's really very open communication back and forth about anything that goes down lyrically. And I might say as well, musically, he does that job. It's like role reversal when it comes to the music. If there's something he's not comfortable with, we talk about it and we see if we can make it better or change things. So I'm happy to report there's very little ego involved when it comes to that side of the collaboration, and it's a nice professional kind of working relationship. It's
been said that identity is your belief and your belief is your identity, and I think Neil really revealed himself in Ghost of a Chance. He really kind of went over the line and wrote some great lyrics for that song.
I love the lyrics in that song. And there's certain moments of different songs where you can see a kind of a true peek at Neil's personality, and I think that's nice from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, what he's talking about are a little more abstractions.
I understand that also Ghost of a Chance is one of Alex's favorite guitar solos that he's done over the years.
Yeah, I think it's. I know it's my favorite guitar solo on the album, and I know it's his as well. And that was an example of a solo that he did actually on the demo and we just kept it. We just flew it in from the demo.
Whoa.
You know, he just wailed on it, and it sounded so great on his late track. And we said, let's use it. You know, what's the point? You know, so that stayed intact right from the initial inspiration.
This is Ghost of a Chance by Rush on Rockline. Some songs are magical. That one certainly qualifies. Ghost of a Chance. That is some Roll the Bones by Rush. Now, our last caller, Mark from Kokomo, mentioned nicknames. Can you tell where some of these came from?
Well, you know...
too long a story or too personal?
Well, you know, the stories involving the discovery of nicknames is pretty complex and delicate matter. And, one that would take far too long to discuss.
Dancing.
To discuss over satellite time. It's too expensive to spend on such matters.
So,
but maybe one day in the forthcoming movie of the same name.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, we'll discuss that when we get the three of you in the same room in the Rockline studio in Hollywood. Then we're going to press you for those nicknames and that type of thing.
I was hard enough trying to spell Lurkst. Let's face it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Let alone explain it.
Thanks to Mark from Kokomo for the call there. And we'll be back in just a moment. It's an evening with Geddy Lee from Rush, and you can call toll free. It's an evening with Geddy Lee of Rush. We have David on the line in St. Louis, listener of KSHE 95, a longtime Rockline affiliate. And David, you're on the show with us now.
Good day, Geddy.
Good day.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
Okay, my question is, this is going to be the second time that you're going to be in St. Louis on this tour on the 12th of June. I was wondering if you're working on a live album or just trying to hit as many people as you can, or?
Yeah, no, we played St. Louis quite early in the tour, if I recall, and we figured that kind of justified coming back through that area, and we've never played at that particular facility, which is supposed to be very nice, so we wanted to check it out and try the outdoor thing. I don't think we've done an outdoor show in St. Louis since, I don't know, maybe one of the KSHE birthday bashes, 150 years ago. So we thought it would be fun to play that and to bring a slightly different show out there.
There you go. So be there, David. A couple of concert dates quickly. Memphis, as the third leg begins on May 21st to 23rd. Kansas City, Wichita on the 24th, and Oklahoma City on the 25th, followed by a date in Denver on the 27th, and Rush heads to Salt Lake City the 29th, and the last day of May, San Francisco. The band will be there performing live. Chris is on the line now in San Diego. Rock 102.1 is our affiliate, and Chris, you're on with Geddy Lee.
Hey, I'd just like to say that I think you guys are the best, and I'm looking forward to seeing you up in Irvine. And
Thank you.
I wanted to know, when you guys are working on an album, how much do you actually practice on the songs that you work?
How much do we practice? Well, it depends on the record, really. It depends. In the early days, we didn't practice very much because we were writing as we were recording, so it was kind of pay as you play kind of thing. But for this particular album, and it's something that's been increasing over the last few years, we spent about, I'd say, 6-7 weeks writing, and the last couple of weeks primarily just rehearsing and fine-tuning arrangements, but doing quite a lot of rehearsing. And it really paid off because we ended up doing this album, I think, all the recording in total was about 7.5 weeks, which is, quite quick for one of our albums.
Yeah,
anyway.
Definitely, yeah.
For most rock albums these days anyway. And the bed tracks, for example, which, for people that don't know, consist of mostly bass and drums, they're called the rhythm tracks. We did those over like a 4-day period, so the rehearsal really did pay off.
There were a couple of spots in the live show where I see Neil put on headphones, and I guess he has a click track so that he can match up with the video behind.
That's right. There's a few songs that the film is kind of crucial to appear. Certain film cues have to appear at a particular time, so he has to sync up to a count-in at the beginning of that film, and if you're off by one beat, the whole thing doesn't work. So it's pretty critical that he hear that count in and stay in time with the film.
There you go, Chris. Enjoy the shows, and those are at Irvine Meadows. That will be the 3rd and 4th of June. There's a show in Reno, Nevada, by the way, on June 1st. We're going to move on now to Mike in Louisville, Kentucky. He is a listener of 95.7 QMF. And Mike, you're on the Rockline.
Hi, Ged.
Hi.
I have to tell you, it's an amazing pleasure to talk to you. It's just incredible, basically.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for all the incredible music you put out over the years. My question for you is, I know you probably don't like questions like this, but I can't help but ask, because I am a huge fan, how many albums do you think there are left in Rush? Or would you venture to guess?
I can't even venture to guess, to tell you the truth. That's something that only time will tell. You know, at the moment, all I can say is that the attitude within the band is very happy and healthy, touch wood, and we're just very hopeful for the future. So I can't really say how many more there'll be.
Let me kind of rephrase that. There seems to have been a rejuvenation with this album with Rush. Is that the case?
Absolutely, I'd say so. I think it's something that started in Presto and kind of continued on very much on this album, and also on the tour. And the touring thing became a much happier situation after Presto. The Presto tour was a short one intentionally because we weren't so sure about touring anymore, and things worked out so well. We actually finished the tour and everyone was still smiling. So, which is why this tour we've tried to push it a little bit and include Europe and play a few more dates in America and try to do a few outdoor shows. So it's kind of like we're still got our fingers crossed, but we're enjoying it more and more. So
yeah.
I hope that bodes well for the future.
Sounds like you're really having fun again. Yeah. We're going to play everything off Roll the Bones tonight. Not every song, but all the songs will be off Roll the Bones, with the exception of one. And we have chosen the song Second Nature from Hold Your Fire. And the reason we chose that is because of the lyrical content. And as we all know, there has been civil unrest in North America, not only in Los Angeles and Atlanta and San Francisco, but even here in Toronto, some things have happened.
Yeah.
And I'd like those of you listening, all you Rush fans out there, to listen to the lyrics to this and think about what it says. This is Second Nature from Hold Your Fire on Rockline on the Global Satellite Network. It's been a while since you've heard that.
It sure has, yeah. I haven't heard it.
Takes on a different meaning now, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Fighting the fire while we're
feeding the flames.
Feeding the flames. We're going to take another call. We have Ken on the line in New York City.
Hi, Geddy. It's a wonderful honor to be speaking with you. And I have two questions to ask you, please. The first of which is regarding the set and this last leg of the tour. Is there going to be any changes to the set? Is it going to differ from the previous legs of the tour as far as songs and structure of it? And the second involves the business of the band and how the day-to-day business and what involvement does the band, Geddy, Alex, and Neil, have in the business decisions of Rush, i.e., which singles are released and how the songs are doing on radio, how the tour ticket sales are progressing, that kind of thing. What kind of involvement does the band take in that area?
Okay, two big questions.
Mm-hmm.
Question number one, yes, the set will be slightly different on this upcoming leg. In particular, places that we have visited or areas that we have been quite close to on the early part of the tour. At the moment, I can't really tell you which songs are going to be added, which songs are going to be dropped, but I can tell you that there'll be at least a couple of changes in different songs that we haven't played, and one song in particular we haven't played in quite some time. So until we get together and start playing them and work out the bugs, I can't really tell you which ones are going to be yet and which ones will go. We haven't fought over which ones are going to get kicked out yet. So. In terms of the day-to-day operation of the band, that's kind of a difficult question to answer. It's a pretty complicated one. A lot of times you have to, we're kind of concerned with making the songs, and once they leave our hands and go to the record company, you just you work together and you try to get everybody's opinion, and you try to make sure that the people that are more expert in those particular areas are in control there. For a large part, once the album is delivered, you kind of come up with a game plan, but once we're out on tour, we're touring, and we're worried about doing the show and playing well and doing interviews and whatnot. So you can't really maintain a day-to-day contact on every aspect. It's just impossible. So you have to have people that you trust and put your faith in them and cross your fingers and make sure that and hope that everything works out okay. In terms of big, important decisions, what we consider to be important decisions, like things regarding our merchandising or programs or set lists or songs and things like that. We're very active in picking opening acts, and we try to be as active as we can within a certain degree as well. Sometimes there's only so many bands available to open for you on a particular leg of a tour, and you try to pick the one that you think, A, you like the most, and B, that the audience will enjoy the most, so you have the best all-around show, because we're big believers in a great show from opening act right to the end. So
speaking of big and opening acts,
right,
Mr. Big is going to be with you.
Yeah,
again.
Mr. Big is going to be back with us on this end leg of the tour, which should be fun, because they're good guys, and they're doing quite well these days, and we're real happy to see that.
The Mr. Big redo. Ken, thanks for the call. Thank you very much. It's Robert's turn in Chicago. Robert, you're on.
Hi, Geddy. How are you tonight?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. Like I say, I've been a huge fan of Rush music for quite some time, and I'll be attending 2 of your concerts in Chicago at Alpine Valley and World Theater. I got 2 questions for you. In your tour book for Roll the Bones, you say that you might be moving to Chicago. If so, when? And also, what type of bass strings are you using on the current tour?
Well, okay, question number 1. I might be moving to Chicago. The nature of that whole section is kind of that whole part of our program, for people who don't know. Everybody has a page where we just ramble on about whatever we feel like rambling on about. And that section, I was kind of stream of consciousness rambling about if I was going to move, where would I move? And Chicago's one of my favorite cities, and that's why I was musing on that and mentioning a few of the high points, being 2 baseball clubs in the same town, one that had Frank Thomas playing on it.
Yeah, that's right, down on the south side there.
So I've got no plans at the present to move to Chicago at the moment, but if and when I do, I'll let you know. And the second part of the question, what was
the
it?
bass?
Bass strings. Yeah. Oh yeah, I use Roto Sound round wound Funkmaster bass strings, extra thin gauge.
Well, I tell you, having lived in Chicago twice in my life and very much enjoyed it, including living on Waveland Avenue right across the street from Wrigley, which was one of the thrills of my life. It's a great, great city, and there's a ton of things to do.
Yeah,
It'd be a good choice if you were going to move somewhere, I'll tell you then. I want to remind everyone in the United States, there are a lot of primaries that are still coming up. Please register to vote. You can do so at any fire station or post office, and there are also some people out on the streets now encouraging you to do that. We also have a presidential election year coming up. It is extremely important that you make your feelings known. What's going on here in Canada as far as Prime Minister, and how long before something happens here?
Well, that's a good question, and one that probably many people are wondering right now. I think there's a lot of unhappiness in the country right now with what's going on politically. You know, like America and like many of the places, there seems to be a lack of leadership, and people want someone to come out of nowhere, or to come out of anywhere, and provide some strong leadership. It's no secret that we're in a recession here, and a lot of people are hurting right now, and they want somebody to come in and take the reins. And I don't know if that person is going to come along or not, but I'd say that what's happening in Canada is not that different from what's happening in America. There is a feeling that someone needs to take over here.
Need some change.
Need some strong, intelligent leadership.
We're going to play an instrumental, Where's My Thing, nominated for a Grammy, as was YYZ, flying into Toronto. How did the Toronto airport end up with YYZ as the code? I mean, LAX I can understand, SFO for San Francisco. How did they end up with YYZ? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Everyone I've asked says, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Oh, man. Here's Where's My Thing, Rush on Rockline on the Global Satellite Network. We in radio love it when you do that. If you're asking yourself, where's my 1992 autographed Rockline calendar? This month's calendar will be signed by Melissa Etheridge and, of course, Mr. Geddy Lee of Rush. Someone did mention this to you, didn't they?
Oh, of course.
Of course they did. Sure they did.
Yesterday,
Yeah. Here's a pin, Geddy. Get busy. The 92 Rockline calendar, courtesy of AT&T, proud sponsor of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. We'll be right back with more of your phone calls for Geddy. Live and in progress with Geddy Lee. We're from Q107 in Toronto this evening. We have a call from Neil in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, listening to KJEZ Z95. And Neil, you're on with Geddy Lee.
Thank you. Hi, Geddy.
Hi.
I have a comment and a couple of questions. First, let me say that I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in Memphis Thursday and again in St. Louis in June. Those will be shows number 15 and 16.
Wow.
And I was reading through some of the old tour books, the Signals tour book, to be exact, and under the heading of subdivisions, Neil was talking about a song that was written and recorded called Tough Break. And he also called that a Jack Secret song. I was wondering if that song had ever been released, and if so, how can we get a copy of it?
I'm afraid you can't. Oh, sorry to interrupt.
Let's wait for the second. Go ahead and
Okay, Tough Break is not available anywhere. It was a song that was written by one of the guys who works for us, Jack Secret by name, and the three of us played on it, as a favor and just for fun, and I don't think it ever got released.
So I guess it is a tough break.
It's a tough break. Kim won't find it. Sorry to interrupt you. What's your second
what else,
question?
Neil?
Okay, and the second question is, will you be releasing any more concert videos or any video package releases in general? Because in this area, we don't get to see Roll the Bones that much on video, and I'd really like to see that.
Well, I'm sure there will be one eventually, but I can't tell you when, and we haven't filmed anything on this particular tour as of yet, but that is something we may do before the tour is over.
As of yet, that's the operative phrase there. All right, there you go. Neil, thank you for the questions. I can't tell you how happy I am to be back on 95.5 KLOS. That is where our next call is coming from. It's Deanne. She's in El Toro, California. We welcome her to the program. Hi, Deanne.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
We've missed you a great deal. It's nice to have you back on Rockline.
Thank you.
And hi, Geddy.
Hi.
How you doing? You're a hard man to get a hold of.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I was wondering if there's any outside projects coming up for you guys, and I had heard in the past that Neil had possibly released a book on poetry. I was wondering if it's still available, and I heard you talk about once that he wrote a journal about his trip through the Rockies on his bike, if he ever released it or whatever became of that.
Okay, there's a lot of points there. Number one, Neil hasn't written a book on poetry, so don't look for it because it doesn't exist.
It's not there.
He has written a number of journals. He goes on many bike excursions on his own and with a small group of travelers. And he does write journals, but mostly for his own personal satisfaction, and he kind of privately publishes a very limited number of them and gives them out to his friends. And I'm sure at some point he's going to feel that he wants to publish them in a wider situation, but he hasn't reached that point as of yet. And I don't want to really speak for him as I'm not his publisher, so I can't remember the beginning couple of points that you had.
Anything else, Deanne?
If there's any outside projects coming up.
Outside projects, not that I could speak of at the moment, no.
Okay. Seems like Neil picks up a different sport every tour. I heard he's into archery this tour.
Yes, he picked it up, I think a couple of years ago, about a year and a half ago or something like that. And he's at the shows quite early every day, about a half an hour before sound check, 45 minutes before sound check. And him and a couple of the guys in the crew are also into archery, so they have these targets set up, and they're zinging away there under the stage or in some area of the building.
And I know you love baseball, that's common knowledge, and you like tennis too, don't you?
Yeah, big tennis fan.
And
love to play.
Alex likes golf, and you don't like
Alex
the clothing,
loves,
right?
Alex loves
Loves golf, yeah, but you can't hack the clothes, right?
Well, it's not my favorite way to dress.
You'd look great in plaid pants and turquoise shirt. Come on. Deanne, thank you very much. We have a call now. It's Kevin. He's in Moorhead, Minnesota, listening to Q98 in Fargo, North Dakota, and we welcome Kevin to the Rockline. Hi there.
Hey, Geddy. How you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I've enjoyed the progression of your music through the years, and my question is, can you give me some insight into the attitudes expressed in the song "Roll the Bones"?
Sure. "Roll the Bones" is a song that basically discusses the possibilities of life, and what I don't mean to be ambiguous, but the element of chance, how it plays on our lives. So much of it may seem premeditated, but something can happen and kind of the direction changes, and you can't really predict that. And there's unpredictability that is a part of living. And the other aspect of the song I think is key is, sometimes you're not sure of where to go in your life, and a lot of people get stuck, and you're kind of wondering whether this is meant for you, this is not meant for you. Sometimes you can't make that decision. Sometimes you just have to kind of roll the dice, and whatever comes up, go with. It's kind of dealing with the hand that you're dealt. It's an old expression. You can spend a lot of time wondering, and sometimes you got to just stop wondering and get on with it.
That's right. Before the wall came down, somebody once said to me, "Imagine being born one mile on the east side and 1 mile on the west. You're 2 miles apart and you grow up completely different."
Yeah.
Completely different. Let's roll the bones and Rockline on the Global Satellite Network. It's an evening with Geddy Lee. You can call toll free at 1-800-344-ROCK. Only one number. We are back. I'm Bob Coburn. It is an evening with Geddy Lee of Rush. We're rolling the bones tonight, taking your calls. We have Phil from Ottawa, Ontario, a listener of 54 Rock. And Phil, you're on with Geddy.
Hey, Geddy. Happy Victoria Day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. I'd like to thank you also for the great show you guys did here in November. It was the best show I've ever seen.
Well, thank you very much for saying so.
Okay. My question is, I know you guys are known to have a pretty good sense of humor, and I have a pretty silly question for you. Is the title of the song Anagram for Mongo a reference to the Mel Brooks film Blazing Saddles?
Absolutely is.
There you go.
You are correct, sir.
And what does he win, Don Pardo? Anything else, Phil?
No, I just wanted to ask that.
No,
all right,
you're right.
great. Yeah, there you go. Very astute. We're going to talk with Brian now. He's in Hackettstown. He's listening to a station in Allentown, Pennsylvania, 95.1 WZZO, and we welcome Brian to the Rockline. Hi there.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
I've got two basic questions. First is, what is your opinion of all the big benefit concerts going on nowadays? And the second is, will you guys be doing any of the longer storybook songs like 2112 or Hemispheres again?
Okay, benefits. I think benefits are always a good thing, as long as the issue is brought up what you're benefiting. And, I mean, there's really two purposes to a benefit. Is A, to raise money, B, to raise awareness. Mm-hmm. If you're doing those things, then you can't criticize the event, I think. More power to whoever puts the event on and the people that are involved in it. As for the longer storybook songs, it's very hard when you have as many albums out as we do, and you only have about, 2.5 hours worth of attention span, you reckon, to accomplish that and to get all the songs in. So unfortunately, I don't think we can play, a 30-minute song anymore and still satisfy everybody's kind of desires. You've got to appreciate there's a whole range of people that are out there all wanting to hear a different favorite song, and you've got three guys on the stage that are trying to keep themselves happy too. So it's hard to juggle all that into and to squeeze in two songs that are half an hour long or 20 minutes long.
2112 would be 20% of the set.
That's right.
Yeah, that's really. Brian, thank you very much for calling. We have Chris on the line now in Seminole, Florida, our station in that area, 95 YNF, Tampa, Florida. Chris, you're on the Rock Line.
Hey, Geddy.
Hey.
It's a real pleasure to talk to you. Basically, I'd like to thank you for your song and your talent over all else, but I was basically wondering what the band's influences were for Presto, more or less, or overall for, the spiritual influences, as in the song Presto.
Well, that's a difficult thing. Going back a few years now and trying to remember what was influencing you in that time period is not an easy thing to recall, and the three of us are influenced by different things. So, I don't think I could faithfully answer that question as to what we were being influenced at the time, now being about 4 years since we've written that.
Wasn't that the album where you left the city and went north somewhere and kind of got away from everything? And,
yeah, we do that every time, though.
Oh, you do that every time? Oh, yeah. Well, forget that.
Yeah, we kind of go out of town, just barely out of town, just to do our writing. And I wish I could be more specific for the caller, but I apologize, but I couldn't be specific about what was influencing us at the time.
Chris, thanks for the call. It's Mitch's turn, and welcome to the program, Mitch.
Hello, thank you. Hello, Geddy.
Hello.
I just wanted to start off by saying that you and the other guys, Rush, has been such a big influence on my life and music, the way I look at things, that I've named my son Geddy Lee. His name is Geddy Lee Dickerson.
And, well, I hope he doesn't resent that. I appreciate
I don't know if he's anything like me. We play music down there, and I was wanting to ask you, you played a different bass on the different albums and use a different bass on your different tours. I was just wondering if there's any specific reason for that. I'm a bass player myself.
Yeah, well, the main reason is every once in a while I get a little bored with the sound that I'm using, and I guess, musicians are constantly tinkering with their sound just to see if they can get something a little different, a little better. Better is kind of a flexible word. It's a very fluid word. What's better is sometimes only something that's a little bit different than what you've been playing. So, every so often I change basses, and every so often I change amps and just change the sound a little bit, and somehow it just keeps things more interesting for me, and also subtly changes the bottom end sound of the band. There's a lot of great people making different instruments out there, and it's fun to try them.
That's
and
true.
To change, and rather than to just restrict yourself.
This album just keeps on going, Roll the Bones, and the next track off of it is going to be this one. It's called The Big Wheel on Rockline on the Global Satellite Network. It's an evening with Geddy Lee on Rockline. We'll continue with Geddy in just a moment. I'm Bob Coburn. It's the Global Satellite Network. We are back. I'm Bob Coburn with Geddy Lee live from Q107 in Toronto. We have Drew on the line in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's listening to 99.5 FM in New Orleans, WRNO. Drew, you are on the show.
Hey, Geddy, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Pretty good. I'd just like to say y'all are my favorite band. I caught y'all in New Orleans. It was incredible.
Thank you very much.
Well, what I'd like to ask you is how y'all came up with Promise for your opening act, because watching Les Claypool and then you bash out on bass was incredible.
I'm glad you enjoyed them. We were just given a kind of a short list of a number of bands that were available, and we listened to their records, and we liked them a lot. And, they're just our kind of thing, a little off the wall and really good musicians. And it's been great. We took them to Europe with us, and they were on a major part of the American tour, and crowd loved them, and we loved having them. So if you're out there, guys, we wish you a lot of luck.
There you go, and that's a good break for them and a good thing to do. Drew, thanks for the call. Dave, it's your turn. He's in South St. Paul, Minnesota, a listener of 93X in Minneapolis. You're on, Dave.
Hi. I'd like to start by saying we all hope Alex is feeling well soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll pass that on to him.
Thank you. My question tonight has to deal mostly with like MTV and VH1. I wonder how you feel about Rush not getting near the exposure that we all know they deserve. As far as the videos, I think I've seen Roll the Bones maybe twice on MTV, and the same with Big Money. I want to know how you feel about that and what us fans can do to help that situation.
Well, that's kind of you to ask. It's a hard thing to know, I mean, you try to figure yourself as a vital band, and I'm pretty proud of most of the videos that we've done. And Roll the Bones did get, a certain amount of airplay on MTV. I can't tell you how much. I haven't been around there to watch most of it, but I don't know if any band that's not kind of top 40 is ever going to get that, extreme amount of video airplay. And that's where we've always fallen, is one of those album-oriented bands. And, so it's hard to compare yourself with a band that, puts out single after single and gets that kind of, intense exposure. But as for what fans can do, I guess just call in and ask for it.
There you go.
But thanks for asking.
And it comes down to, in some ways, you really don't need it. Like I said in my introduction, you really are coming out as the top band in the AOR format right now, and that's to your credit. And you can do it without a lot of MTV airplay or much
amazing.
music here in Canada or whatever, Dave, thanks. We don't do this often. We're going to stay in the same area and take another call from a listener of 93X in Minneapolis in Plymouth, Minnesota. And this is Andy. Andy, how are you?
I'm good.
You're on.
Hey, Geddy, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Hey, I'm 16 right now, and I like your music a lot. I've been listening to your group for about 4 years now, and I was wondering, what direction is your band going for the next album?
Well, that's I can't really tell you. That we had a question kind of like that earlier, but as I was saying, we don't really know where we're going until we've kind of got there and then gone beyond it. When we sit down to write in November, we'll kind of figure out what kind of music we're going to be making, and usually it kind of just takes shape. We start writing and we see what kind of songs are coming out, and it kind of takes shape. But I can say that we've been real happy with the direction of the last two albums, and I would hope that we would continue a bit further into that kind of a little more streamlined area.
Well, let me answer that. I can tell you where you're going. You're going to St. Louis on June 12th for a concert there.
We're going south.
Yeah, that's right. Nashville on the 13th of June, then Charlotte, North Carolina the 14th, Columbia, Maryland the 16th, Boston on the 17th. Rush will be in New Jersey, the Meadowlands outside New York City on the 19th, Jones Beach on Long Island the 20th, and wrapping up quickly the dates that I have: Pittsburgh on the 21st, Dayton the 23rd, Indianapolis the 24th, into Detroit on the 26th, and a couple of dates in Alpine Valley, a great venue, the 27th 28th outside the Chicago area there in Wisconsin. Andy, thank you very much for your call. Thanks to everyone for listening and calling. Joining us next week via satellite from London, England will be Keith Emerson, Greg Lake, and Carl Palmer as Rockline brings you the national premiere of their new CD, Black Moon. Coming soon, Santana, Gene Simmons, and Paul Stanley of KISS. You opened for them years and years ago, didn't you? Yeah.
Our very first American tour, we opened for, I don't know, 1,000 months for them.
1,000 months, yeah. Special thanks tonight to our guest tonight from Rush, Mr. Geddy Lee. Give our best to Alex and, of course, to Neil Peartz. And good luck on this third leg of the tour. And I'm going to see you in Southern California when you come play again.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. It's been great talking to you one more time.
All right. I'll see you soon. I'm BC, and I'll be seeing you.